God, that jingle just makes you want to dance, doesn't it? You know, we're talking
Groovy.
some happy stuff, a little bit creepy. Yeah, a little bit. But welcome everybody to another live stream. This is the 20th live stream I think I've done on this channel, which is nuts, honestly. But obviously, as you can see, I have a great panel to talk some Marvel stuff with everybody here. I have both Ryan and Lo from the Suit Up Geeks Podcast, who I've collaborated with many times before. Very happy to have you guys both on. Gentlemen, Ryan, starting with you. How you doing?
I am doing very good. Dude, October is literally the month to be a movie fan right now. I'm loving it. And then we got Eternals. We just got the new Scream trailer. We got Spider-Man No Way Home. Dude, that's going to be a whole video of me just gushing over that right there. But yeah, dude, it's going good. I'm happy to be here. We got the good vibe sign. We got the fireplace. We're chilling. We're talking some Marvel and defending some Shang-Chi third act up in here, baby.
Oh, yep. I saw that tweet, my friend. I can't wait to get into that discussion in just a few moments. But Lo, my friend, aside from your 49ers stinking up the joint and getting injured again, how you doing?
And also aside from the fact that this door keeps opening. But yes, I'm doing okay. It's been a hectic work week to say the least, but it's always fun to talk shop with you guys. Thanks for having me, Zach. I appreciate it. We got some fun stuff to talk about. I haven't had a chance to really elate about the last few what ifs, and I'm not going to be too excited about Venom, but there is some cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
so I can't wait to dig out.
There's a couple of things we're going to have to rip off like a Band-Aid here for sure. But, you know, I got to say what's up to the people who are in the chat already. And if you're watching the replay, thank you all so much for tuning in. And hit that subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel. We are on the road to 1,000 subs here somehow. I'll go ahead and leave a link to the Suit Up Geeks podcast also because they deserve your guys' support. They are a great group. These guys run a deal every single week, and they are, talking a bunch of geekly stuff as well. So, yeah, go ahead and show the love each other, love the movies, as one of my good friends on YouTube always says. But I got to say what's up to Luke Ponto in the chat. What is up, my dude? Kevin, got to say what's up to you, even though you're reminding me of what The Rock did to Mick Foley again. He does this every time. He's referring to the incident where The Rock hit Mick Foley with 12 unprotected chair shots, one after the other. So, that's when The Rock was evil back in 1999. But in any case, yeah, evil Rock. Can you imagine? He's not an evil guy at all. But we've got a lot to dig into in regards to the MCU because we have been spoiled this year, especially considering we have not gotten anything over the last year. And we still have a lot more to go with Eternals, No Way Home, which I'm sure Lo is thrilled about, absolutely mind blown. I mean, it's in Ryan's name. I know he's excited for No Way Home. I don't have to ask him twice. So there's a big giant trailer, all that. Doc Ock is there. We're ready. We're ready for that. But some big casting news. Ryan, Will Poulter was just cast as Adam Warlock in Guardians Volume 3. What do you think of this choice?
I dig it. I don't know why so many people are getting so up in arms about it. I like Will Poulter. I think from the comic look so far that I've seen, I don't know him too well in the comics. I think just put some locks on him and he's fine. I think he's good right there. Dude, he can play a really good bad guy, but also play a really good and sympathetic character at the same time. I think a really good example is actually, I know a lot of people don't like these movies, is the Maze Runner trilogy. The first movie, he's an absolute dick. I like him much better as a nicer guy. You see him in We're the Millers. He plays such a sweet and innocent role. And then his first big role was Narnia, Chronicles of Narnia 3, whichever one that was, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader or whatever. And he played that dweeb or weasel cousin, which was really cool. So I don't know. I really like him as an actor. I haven't seen him in everything, but I'm really glad that we get to see him in the MCU, and I'm just really glad we're getting Adam Warlock after that tease in 2017, bro, 4 years ago.
Yep. At this point, it'll be 6 years when Guardians Volume 3 hits theaters. But Lo, you got some thoughts to drop in, hot takes only about Adam Warlock here. You know how it goes here.
I think I don't know him well enough to even have a real opinion, but I think if he bulks up a little bit and they just cover him in the gold paint, why not? He seems like a good kid. He was funny in We're the Millers. I haven't seen The Revenant, and I don't remember The Maze Runner. I remember being okay with it, but I just don't remember anything about it. But he seems like a good guy, so we'll see what happens.
Maze Runner was coming out like in a time when we were getting so many young adult adaptations in the franchises. We were getting like Maze Runner, the last book, like in 2 parts. We were getting the Hunger Games at that point. We were getting like stupid Divergent, which I'm not going to get into. But I think Will Poulter is a really, really solid choice. He's admittedly someone I did not think of for Adam Warlock. I was more thinking along the lines of like Zac Efron, maybe even Channing Tatum, because I know how good Channing Tatum can be. But, Will Poulter, I think looks wise, he's a solid choice. He's got that permanent scowl, that resting bitch face, if you will. I mean, if you just paint him gold, like that's Adam Warlock right there. So I think he certainly looks the part. I think a lot of people overlook his performance in Detroit as well, which came out, I think I want to say back in 2017 as well. That was Catherine Bigelow. Yeah, John Boyega. Detroit will piss you off if people have not seen Detroit in a while.
I haven't seen it. That's the one movie I haven't seen.
Oh,
and I feel like I need to see it because you're not the first person to tell me this within the past week for some reason. It seems like I think since his casting, it's just come up more often to the point where it's like, Ryan, you need to see it. I'm like, yeah, I know. Give me November.
I would I would recommend going in and being like, I remember sitting in the theater just feeling so dirty watching that, like it's one of those movies that really gets under your skin. It really like pisses you off. Will Poulter plays this really racist cop in there. You just wanted to punch that shithead in the face all the time. So I think he's a solid choice for this, and I think he'll do wonders with James Gunn. Luke is saying, I'm curious to see what Will Poulter can do in the MCU. You and me both, buddy. We'll see how it goes. Got to say what's up to Leo Geekly Goods popping in while he can. Guardians of the Multiverse is easily his favorite episode of What If. Viva Las Vegas. Ryan does not approve of this.
No bueno.
No. Got to say what's up to Jacob Hubbard as well. How you doing, buddy? He's got another excellent YouTube channel of movie reviews, so go ahead and check him out while you can. But Leo brought up What If, so you want to just talk about that first?
Yeah, I'm literally trying to find my ranking list right now. Oh, here we go. Yeah,
here it is.
I've literally got The Watcher Breaking the Oath, the season finale at number 5 at enough.
Wow. Okay.
I literally think it does what the show I didn't want the show to do. I should be clear. I really like the whole concept of What If and really going in and diving into these different scenarios of the movies. And my first one is the zombies episode. And the thing with that season finale is it says in the title, they do that so early. The Watcher breaks his oath so early on into the show.
Yeah.
To the point where it doesn't even give itself enough time to really connect to the MCU. Because right now I still think it's in no pun intended. I still think it's in a phase where they don't know if they want to connect it to the MCU main timeline of where we are, or if they want to kind of keep it its own separate thing. So watching this finale, I didn't know what type of consequences I was supposed to be feeling. Is it supposed to be in the context of the larger MCU as we know with the Disney Plus shows and all the movies and this show, or is it supposed to be within this small contained third-party story that they're telling us, right?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with what you're saying. I was looking at What If going in, expecting it to be like almost like a Dark Knight Returns, not like, fully canon with the main crux of what the MCU is.
Yeah.
And this is a question that we can address later on too, whether or not we actually think it will connect to the main canon. But I totally am with you. That finale, I liked it, but I feel like the Watcher breaking his oath should have been a bigger deal than, it was made out to be. Because, I'm remembering even as far back as episode 4 with Doctor Strange, where he was kind of breaking his oath in that regard. Like, Doctor Strange actually sees him, within the realm of, what he's doing and, the Watcher pulling the strings and all that. They actually have a full-on conversation in that episode. So, A lot of people are saying that the Doctor Strange episode where he turns evil is their favorite. I'm seeing that topping everybody's list. I don't know if I could speak for Low on that, but my personal favorite episode, that's a no-brainer to me. It's T'Challa's Star-Lord, honestly. He, hearing his voice one last time was just amazing. And it was the most fun episode, for me personally. But Low, hot takes only. What do you think was your favorite episode of What If? How do you have it?
I actually agree with Ryan. I think the zombies one was the most exciting episode for me. I mean, the T'Challa one's right under it. Like they're like neck and neck, but
yeah.
But both of those episodes, I'll just say that I liked how it just took us in a direction that we didn't expect. We're seeing Thanos cracking jokes about him being a bad guy, but really like T'Challa was so earnest in his approach with Thanos that he got Thanos on his team of all things. I thought that concept was cool. Seeing evil Scarlet Witch in a zombie form, and I just loved all of the fun things that both of these episodes did. The perfectly capturing the zombie tropes, but still making it not something we've seen before. Like obviously we've never seen an MCU zombies before, but I liked what they did with the format. Putting together this ragtag group, Happy and and it was nice. I liked it.
That was a lot of fun for me too to watch. It should have been my favorite, all things considered, because I was a big Walking Dead fan, back in high school. I've since stopped watching The Walking Dead, but it's, because The Walking Dead, that's another rant for another time. They pissed me off one too many times. But in that instance, I really, really enjoyed it. I loved Tom Holland in that episode. He was so funny and so endearing. But Tom
Holland wasn't in the episode.
Oh, he wasn't? No, that wasn't Tom Holland, was it? Whoops.
No.
Yeah, no, that
guy did a good
honestly,
job.
It's funny you say
whoever
that
it was.
No, it's funny you say that because I said that after the episode. I'm like, if they didn't say that Tom Holland wasn't in this, I'm pretty sure I even said it when we reviewed the episode. If they did not tell me that this was not Tom Holland, I would have thought it was Tom Holland. Straight up.
Yeah, no, hey, it had me fooled until now, and then Ryan brought it to my attention. Thank you, my friend. That's why these two are here, One, I mean, also to have fun and to, clear the air about certain things. But got to say what's up to G. Colby P in the chat. He says the Doctor Strange episode is his favorite. I really loved Benedict Cumberbatch's performance in that. I'm not going to lie. It was so moving. Personally, again, it wasn't as fun as this guy right here, but definitely for what it was, I can understand why people have it at the top of their list. Honestly, I liked the murder mystery episode a lot more than the Doctor Strange one. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, we're freaking should we just reveal who freaking done it? It was freaking Hank Pym all along, do the
wasn't song. Agatha. Was not Agatha this time, people.
No, it was all Hank Pym. It was all.
It would have been funny if they actually played that into the episode. But I don't think it was enough time between that becoming a meme and the time this episode came out. So
yeah, I think it was a little bit too soon to pull another Agatha all along joke within the the context of What If. So I think Hank Pym made all the sense in the world for him to be the one who done it, and like creating a murder mystery where they're just killing off all the Avengers one by damn one. It was just such a neat idea to me, and I honestly I don't know if there's gonna. I mean, if I'm sure there's a season 2 for sure. That's in development.
But there's already a confirmed season 2 for this.
Which is
I was gonna
awesome.
say, like, it kind of felt like they were preparing to just it be one off, like especially with how quickly the Watcher breaks his oath, and then it's like the finale felt very final in my opinion. But I'm actually surprised that they're gonna keep going with it.
Nope. I was trying to get the joke to like come off as I was saying it, but it just didn't come. But like
that was bad.
I think that's like the problem with What If as a whole, though, is it's a very repetitive show with only 9 episodes. How many times are they going to kill Tony Stark? How many times are we going to see Black Widow? How many times are we going to keep seeing these same characters popping up? Like, in the season finale, Killmonger literally was only there for that final twist that really was like, why should this be any type of twist when not only did we see him a villain in Black Panther, but he's also a villain within this animated What If show with the worst episode of the season, the Tony Stark and Killmonger episode. Just want to let you guys all know that.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm
with ya.
like, what the fuck? Dude, why do we keep repeating ourselves? And that's the thing. Like, how many more times are they gonna do the whole revolving around the Avengers all in a circle, like the first event? Like they did that like 5 times in this show. Like it's weird. They keep saying they want to try something new, but they're just putting different faces on old material. It kind of annoys me.
Right. No, and I definitely see what you're saying, and I'm with you. The Killmonger Tony Stark episode was my personal least favorite as well. Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't like bad per se, but I just wasn't fully invested in it like I was like, with everything else. Like even with the evil Doctor Strange, which, G. Colby P said was his favorite. Like I just really was not. I was looking down at my phone a lot of the time while the episode was playing in the background, and I was like, okay, this is cool seeing Killmonger in there, but like it's like that and the Party Thor episode were like on the same level for me, because Party Thor was just, it was very inconsequential for a lot of reasons. Lo is shaking his head, and I'm assuming that's because he did not like the episode. But
yeah, actually, that was my least favorite. Within like the Avengers dynamic, like Thor is like my favorite of the group, and they made him so whiny and cringy, and Hulk, it was so cringy, and like it was kind of cool seeing him fight Captain Marvel, but there wasn't much else besides that.
Right.
And then he gets, the mom treatment from Frigga, and it felt like a waste of a story. I actually didn't mind the Killmonger episode. I think my main problem is that, like Ryan mentioned already, they didn't give him any interesting character arc. He became a bad guy again. It's like, I thought the What If was supposed to be like the other way around. Like, what if his life was different? He basically played the same character from Black Panther. So I thought that was kind of a disappointment, I should say. I did not like the episode. It's just, he had no character arc that was interesting. It was just like, oh, he's taking over the world again. Like,
yeah.
So.
You reminded me of something, Lo, that I actually wanted time to do it. So longer looks this 10 years earlier, and he was like this top covert secret agent that was just working for the 10 Rings 10 years earlier, when I thought he was supposed to be part of this like super secret task force. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking.
The continuity was like, I didn't really understand the whole timeline for that.
It just felt like they bent it a little. Like, it's weird to say they bent their own rules with this show when it's literally all about bending rules, but it bends it in a way that you're not supposed to bend it.
Exactly.
I guess you can say.
It's very similar to how the screenwriters are handling the Fantastic Beasts films, which we're getting another one next April. Like, you give Dumbledore an extra younger brother that was never mentioned in any of the books, and he's actually Credence Dumbledore, whatever his name was, played by Ezra Miller. Like, like there's points where you can tinker with your own lore, but there's a point where you can go too far. And that's, that Killmonger thing really made me think of that. Like, I was thinking, at that point, Killmonger was still in Oakland, not running that covert task force, doing the freaking.
So you even further back than I was.
Right?
I thought I was already far back. I'm like, maybe I'm just looking a little too into it. I'm just like getting myself fucked up. But it sounds like people agree, so that makes me feel better.
Yeah, of course. But
can I say one last thing too?
No.
Of course. Go ahead.
One of like my favorite phrases, especially hearing it in like Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail, is like, "How about you?" But Thor said it so many times in that episode that I don't ever want to hear the phrase again. How about you? I was like, make it stop, and he kept saying it. Like,
Yeah, take a shot every time Thor says, "How about you?" in that What If episode. But yeah, Lo, I fully agree with you because Thor is my personal favorite character in this whole entire universe, and I can't believe I'm saying that considering what he went through in 2013. But Ragnarok really made me a believer in Chris Hemsworth. I can't wait to see Love and Thunder, but that episode really disappointed me. It should have been my favorite, but Thor just came off like such a whiny little bitch. I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there like, shouldn't I be rooting for you? Shouldn't you be a badass? But you're just one to sit around and drink all day. Like,
and he whimpered when she punched him. He was like, "Oh!" I was like, "What is happening?" Like,
yeah, it was not good at all. But G. Colby P thought the zombie episode was fun, but he thought it relied a little too much on the humor. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying there. But I mean, I enjoyed the zombie episode. That should have been my favorite, though. I mean, I had more fun watching this one. I'm just saying that. I had more fun watching it. I thought it was a better story that they were telling with T'Challa and Yondu, who it was amazing to hear Michael Rooker again. I love that guy. Ironically enough, from The Walking Dead. That's where I was introduced to the man. But, it was a better story all around. And it was a great fight between T'Challa and the Collector. So it's visually stunning. So loved it. Loved it so much.
I like this newest comment that GCO just said.
Let's see. Let's see it. Oh, at least... At least, wow.
That's gonna change with Love and Thunder. Watch, that's gonna change. I'm telling you.
But he has a point, though. Like,
no, I definitely agree.
Fleshed out in the film,
agree.
So.
He's definitely got a good point, but it's gonna change with Love and Thunder.
It's gonna change with Love and Thunder when Natalie Portman's presented as more of a badass in that context. But yeah.
I just hope Taika Waititi does for Natalie Portman what he did for Jojo Rabbit's best friend in Jojo Rabbit with the new Home Alone movie.
Yikes! Yikes! No, I refuse to watch that. Home Alone is one of my all-time favorites. It looks so horrible.
Home Alone or some shit like that.
No, it's Home Sweet Home Alone, I think it's called, on Disney Plus. So, like, I would rather watch Muppet Haunted Mansion for sure. I would rather watch freaking Diary of a Wimpy Kid animated movie. Like, come on,
God.
Home Sweet Home Alone. Like, we've been over this.
I'd rather watch Clifford.
Well, I mean, I was gonna watch Clifford anyway, because
that's cinema. How dare I make fun of that? That's cinema.
Well, I feel like I'm gonna get requests to watch Clifford the Big Red Dog next month.
I'm sure you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I grew up with that PBS show. I mean, not like as avidly as like whatchamacallit, like a Reading Rainbow per se, but I enjoyed it. Clifford the Big Red Dog was there.
Hey, Wishbone supremacy over Clifford.
Wishbone, no, Arthur supremacy. Arthur supremacy for me, honestly. That was my show on PBS. But let's see. The Killmonger episode was G. Colby P's least favorite. I know people would say the Party Thor episode, but I thought that one was a lot of fun, even though he just said Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth got more chemistry in 30 minutes. But
the only thing that prevents Party Thor from being the last one is because at least it's entertaining to watch how stupid it is. The Killmonger episode, I was just fucking bored throughout. I'm just like, dude, I know exactly how this is gonna end. And it ended exactly how I thought it was gonna end. And I'm just like, I just wasted 30 minutes and a whole dumb fucking what if nothing fucking changed. That's how it felt. What if nothing changed for our characters? What if Tony was the same? And what if Killmonger were the same? But what if Killmonger looked the same from 2018, 10 years earlier, doing the same job with Ulysses Claw in the 10 Rings at that same point?
Yep. Well, the show started off on the right foot. I mean, episode 2, you got Chadwick Boseman as Star-Lord. But lest we forget our premiere with freaking Peggy Carter as Captain Carter, basically. She's the one taking the super soldier serum. I honestly really, really dug that episode at first. It reminded me, I don't know about you guys, I don't know if you feel the same way, but a lot of that action really made it feel like Brad Bird directed it. Like, especially that premiere, it looked a hell of a lot like The Incredibles 2. It was a lot of fun to watch, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not seeing enough people saying that, episode 1 was their favorite of the bunch, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought Haley Atwell was a badass. So, in animated form, of course, I'd love to see a live action Captain Carter, but fat chance. We'll see. But gotta say what's up to Marcus in the chat. What's up, my friend? Yeah, you requested Bone Tomahawk for my Halloween playlist, and it's coming. I'm editing that, my friend. So yeah, thank you for suggesting that. Oh God, he would rather watch that Ice Age spinoff with Buck. Why? Why would you watch anything of Ice Age?
Who's Buck?
Exactly. Jacob is back and he hears Clifford comments.
I mean, Clifford Cinema. I think we've all confirmed that, especially that it was supposed to play at a film festival. Only cinema plays at film festivals, people. Only cinema.
Only
put that out there.
Only Spencer. Only Last Night in Soho, which I know
Red
Ryan
Rocket.
is looking forward to.
Dude, don't. I'm so. I can't fucking wait for
Last Night in Soho is going to be freaking phenomenal. It's probably it. I can tell that's top in Ryan's best of the year list for sure.
Top 10, baby.
Top 10, baby. Top 10. Oh, G Colby P is asking, how did you guys feel about the voice work from the returning cast? Lo, I'll let you take this one first.
He actually states it very well. It was hit and miss. I thought Chadwick was amazing. It felt like he was really invested in it. And then on the flip side, Michael B. Jordan, it sounded like he was asleep. It sounded like he gave two craps about this series and took the check. Like his voice had no menace, and
so dull.
It sounded like Michael B. Jordan was just reading his lines, and it was unfortunate because I like the guy a lot. I mean, in Creed and Fruitvale Station and so many other things, and it just sounded like he didn't care about this work. Sebastian Stan, I actually agree with. I didn't even recognize his voice. It just felt like stock footage. Like I said my line. Now I'm done. Like it just felt like a part of the plan. And yeah, some of them are great though. Some of them are really good. And I really like the guy that did Tony. Whoever the hell did Tony, that was pretty freaking good.
I want to say his name was Mick Wingert, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but
he had the mannerisms. He had like the inflection in like the quips. It was great.
Had me fooled. I thought it was RDJ for sure, but I mean that honestly makes me beg a question though. If it was so hit and miss, I feel like that might be because, and I don't want to create excuses for these actors. I'm an actor myself. I know how difficult their jobs are, but I feel like most of these guys had never done voice acting in their entire careers before What If, and they were just kind of dipping their toes into things. So, I mean, I really loved Chadwick Boseman's performance. Benedict Cumberbatch might have been my favorite performance of the bunch. Don't forget about Jeffrey Wright, though. Please do not overlook Jeffrey Wright, nobody, because he was excellent as the Watcher. Really gave me a lot of those Twilight Zone vibes. I said it in my formal review for this, just individually speaking. This show did feel like Marvel's answer to the Twilight Zone because we were getting taken on an adventure, through all these different sort of stories, like for the first few episodes, and then the Killmonger thing happened, and then Ryan got very disappointed indeed. But in any regard, I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Ryan? I'll let you go ahead and take this question.
I think if I were to take anything out of What if Marvel came to me one day and said, what is one thing from this show that you would take and put into live action? There's two answers I'd say. The Marvel Zombies concept, but that was way before What If. I thought they've always been doing it, but this only really cemented it. I feel like it got a lot more people on board, and there's some talks I've been hearing going on about it behind the scenes. But I think a more reasonable thing would have Jeffrey Wright come in as the Watcher. He's arguably the best part of this show, and the man is just brilliant. We just saw him in No Time to Die. No spoilers, but I loved him in that movie, and I loved him as Felix within that James Bond 5-movie quadruple trilogy, whatever the fuck they call it.
Quinn trilogy, maybe, if it's 5.
Quinn trilogy. But you guys get my point. And he's someone that I've been wanting to see go into the MCU. But he's already in the DCU, EU, other you, whichever you they want to use now, because
Matt Reeves,
all their movies are in different universes at this point. But he's playing Gordon in the new Batman. But I just an ideal world, I want to see him as a physical presence. And if there is if this does have any ramifications, the show, that's the one that I hope really sticks and they continue to go with.
You know, like, if anything, and this begs a question, if What If is going to link up with the live action films and series at all. Honestly, I won't expect it to. I'll be very surprised if we see giant CGI Watcher played by Jeffrey Wright coming in to be the answer to Kang the Conqueror somehow. But I mean, like, fat chance that actually happens and we see Jeffrey Wright versus Jonathan Majors on the big screen at some point. But I mean, only time will tell. I'm sure Lo will be chuckling at the back row of his theater if he sees giant Jeffrey Wright. But I mean, you know, speaking of movies that were in theaters, are there any other thoughts on What If before we rip this next part off like a Band-Aid?
Hopefully, whether in No Way Home or Multiverse of Madness, probably Multiverse of Madness, I wouldn't mind like a cameo from Peggy Carter. She was so great. Captain Carter, I love the concept, and I think God, what's her name? Haley Atwell deserves it.
Love her so much.
She's a wonderful actress, and I feel like after Agent Carter got canceled, she didn't really get much projects after that. I think I saw her in Christopher Robin, and
she's
I haven't
in the
seen
next
her much
Mission
else.
Impossible.
I think she deserves like the spotlight a little bit.
Is she in Christopher Robin? Let me look. Actually,
yeah, she is.
Yeah,
she plays the wife.
She's the wife of Ewan McGregor.
Oh, I'll be damned. That is Haley Atwell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was great.
She was really good. I literally just had to look at the credits on the back of my Blu-ray.
I love that movie. It was really good.
It was really cute. I really did like Christopher Robin a lot. And to your point, Haley Atwell is such an underrated actress. She needs more work down the line. You know, Ryan did say she was in the next Mission Impossible, which like certain subtitles have been tossed around like over these last few months. I saw a subtitle Libra for Mission Impossible 7, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure, but you know, I think she should do some really, really excellent work in that. G. Colby P thinks Haley Atwell is cute. Hard point to argue there. Hard point to argue.
You ain't going to see any arguments here. That's all I'll say.
No,
arguments.
Colby, you're preaching to the choir, my friend.
Yes.
But, you know, speaking of preaching to the choir, you know, I'm sure Amanda is not going to be very happy with us trashing this thing. So
she can be mad all she wants. I'll trash the fuck out of this movie.
You ready, Lo? You're stretching.
He's cracking the back. He's cracking the knuckles. He's doing a little stretch.
I'm giddy because
here we go.
It was definitely a movie.
Yeah. You want to go first, Lo? What did you think of Venom?
Please. Zach, I need to hear what you think before we even dig into this because I want to know what level we're at. I know how Ryan feels about it, but I need to know your level, Zach. I need to know where we're at right now.
Okay, so Jacob knows this already. Jacob Hubbard, if you're watching, you have like. You put it so aptly well in the comments. He was like, ladies and gentlemen, you have just seen Zack Goller tear a movie to shreds. You know, that honestly was such a fun review to make. It was so cathartic for me. I honestly feel like I've ranted myself dry at this point, but you know, screw it. I'm willing to do it again at this point with you guys because that movie really does not deserve all the attention that it's getting. Sony has not learned their damn lesson from 2018. This movie should have been rated R, especially if you have Carnage in there. Like, you should have learned. You know, there's no excuse for this to be rated R. And I'm sure we'll get to their big defense in just a few minutes. But, this movie was so deflating. And especially with the ending, which I don't want to bury the lead just yet. But it was honestly one of the most disappointing and laughable endings all year long. Like, I could not believe what I was looking at. It was so disappointing. But with that said, Lo, hot takes only. What's your level of hatred for this?
All right, I got 3 things, man. First of all, firstly, how is the post-credit sequence gonna be better than the entire film? You can't do that. When you do that, you can't. You messed up. That's like Hangover 3. I laughed in the post-credit sequence of Hangover 3 when he had boobs, and that was it. Secondly, Woody Harrelson, man, I really like him as an actor. I think he's great, but I felt like I was watching an actor play Woody Harrelson. I felt like he was a character of himself, and he like had that southern twang, and he was saying stuff that didn't really make sense, and his motivations didn't make sense. And
Yeah.
thirdly, I almost couldn't sit through the first 30, 40 minutes. The editing was very haphazard. I got whiplash from the whipping around, and all of a sudden, Tom Hardy's in the air with his motorcycle, and then now we're back talking crap with Venom, and then he's making him breakfast, and he's throwing eggs in the wall, and I'm just like, I don't know. There's a lot happening here. There's a lot to take
Whiplash.
in.
Whiplash. Sorry to cut you off, but like, were you watching this in D-Box or something? like
No,
Whiplash.
it's just the editing was so haphazard and sloppily put together. I just felt like I was twisting my neck every 2 seconds. Venom threw a TV out the window, and the Banshee ladies screaming, and there was so much happening in 20 minutes. So
you want to talk about bad performances, and honestly, here's my thing with Woody Harrelson. I personally, despite what Jacob is ranting in the comments, I'll just put this right there. He really hates this movie. He was trying to be his performance from Natural Born Killers, except ... not good.
Not good.
Here's the thing. Woody Harrelson, in my eyes, was not the worst actor in this movie. I think that distinction, unfortunately, goes to Naomi Harris. And I really hate saying that, but I have no idea what the hell she was doing with this Shrieker character. She was so over the top. Like, the whisper she decided to go with was just god tier awful. Like, especially, I had just rewatched her in both Skyfall and Spectre before I went to the theater to see this piece of shit. And I was like, when you hold...
I forgot that was her.
Yeah, she's Moneypenny. So, like, when you hold Moneypenny, like, this character in Venom does not hold a candle to Moneypenny in terms of, like, the performance level. Like,
can I ask you guys, did she say anything normally?
Did anybody say anything normally?
I felt like every single line of hers was either her screaming or saying something really like, "Oh, my love." Like, she didn't talk normally in the film. Like, it was weird.
She really
like,
didn't.
Straight up Haunted Mansion type fucking voice. Like, what are you trying to do? Scare me from the closet?
Like really shitty 2003 Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion, correct?
Yes, that's the only good version of Haunted Mansion because of how bad it is.
Whoa! Time out. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a bad movie. Only because Eddie Murphy was miscast in the leading role.
It's so bad, but it's so good.
That's like, imagine if you put Will Ferrell in the Batsuit. Like, that's how bad a miscasting.
I'd watch that movie.
Really?
Yes.
Like, I like Will Ferrell and all, but like, if you miscast him that badly, like, of course I'm gonna hate it. Like, Holmes and Watson is the perfect example of that. So, Jacob likes Haunted Mansion. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, buddy, but it's not very good. I mean, I enjoy watching it over the Halloween season sometimes, but in any case, Ryan, hot takes only. As Colby said, the devil is let in. Thanks, Eminem. What do you got for Venom? Let There Be Carnage.
After I saw this movie, I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it was like 79. And I shit you not, I literally wanted to throw my phone at the wall. I've never felt that because of a movie's Rotten Tomatoes score in my entire life. I literally, when I talk about this movie, I say it's cinema, but it wishes it bro. It's very obvious this movie thinks it's cinema. It tries so hard to be this big, grand, marvelous, pun intended movie when it's not. It's doing everything against its favor. And how many times are we gonna trust Sony to bring in these fan favorite characters into live action for the first time? They fucked up Venom's first live action with Spider-Man 3, and then they fuck up Carnage's live action, which is I like Carnage more than Venom. He's fucking insane. Cletus Cassidy is fucking insane. Yeah. And I literally thought I watched a Halloween cosplay of Cletus Cassidy and Venom today. Literally Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con was this weekend, and I couldn't tell the difference between the people dressing up as Carnage there and the fucking Carnage I saw in that movie. Because this movie also has the same issue as the first one. The color grading. I cannot see shit. They do not
Yeah.
distinct the two of them well enough. I will say they made Venom darker. Congratulations. Do you want to make the
Yeah.
red redder? Do you not want to make it
Please?
fucking blend in with every facade in the background? Because this movie is very red in general. The lighting is red, and they're blowing shit up left and right.
God. I didn't even think I mentioned this in my review, but I do remember somebody, like, I think Naomi Harris had this line of dialogue, of course, which, like, the whole way through, the dialogue is poorly written,
Awful,
for sure. As
fucking
I've
awful.
mentioned, it was so bad. But Naomi Harris said something about it being a red wedding, and as a Game of Thrones fan, I groaned out loud in the theater, probably to the annoyance of the guy sitting next to me. But in any regard, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? This movie is just riding off of the coattails of stuff that worked in the past, and it's so convinced that it's good. I'm right there with you, Ryan. It was not a good movie at all. One of my least favorites.
I'm sorry. There's something that truly pisses me off about this movie that I don't get why enough people aren't talking about. The whole thing of this movie is them finally becoming the lethal protector, right? Bro, literally, I can't even tell you. The first movie, they didn't defeat Riot. It was Anne. She blew up the rocket.
Yeah.
They did nothing. Literally, Riot climbed up on the rocket. She blew it up. They did not defeat him. And then they didn't even defeat Carnage in this movie.
No.
It was literally Shriek that defeated Carnage.
Shriek defeated Carnage, and Carnage fucking dies.
Exactly.
Why?
And then they're like, we are the lethal protectors. We cannot be stopped. I'm like, you've been stopped multiple times. If you didn't have anyone else fucking helping you, you'd be dead. Like, why are you calling yourself a lethal protector? If anything, you're a lethal dipshit. Like, stop. Tom Hardy.
Hey, also, you know what disappointed me too was like, how are they going to take something like, I didn't like the first movie that much, but the thing I did like about the first one was Venom and Eddie's relationship, and somehow they messed that up in this picture. Like,
yes,
that's where I gotta disagree.
What? No, I mean, okay, look, it was funny for the first like 40 minutes, and then they broke up with each other, and it just lost me. The jokes just weren't hitting after that like 30-40 minute mark, and Venom got annoying, if I'm being honest. Like, he got really whiny, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to a rave because I'm sad,
and wear fucking glow sticks.
It just lost me, bro. I just lost that connection, man.
Like, that scene with Venom at the rave, honestly, is on the level of stupidity of the Spider-Man 3 club dance sequence with Tobey Maguire. Not that one. It's the one
at the piano bar?
Yes, the jazz club, where he's going on
club.
that date with Gwen Stacy and he's dancing on the table. Like,
Get
that,
on
I think,
this.
yes, the dumbest thing that's ever happened in any Spider-Man movie. But Venom wearing glow sticks is up there with that. So, like, and Venom just got so whiny in that moment. I mean, Eddie and Venom together are funny. And Tom Hardy, bless his heart, I love him as an actor. He was giving it his all. But, like, his talents were not enough to save this dumpster fire. And I'm sure...
No, it was his talents that destroyed I don't want to say
really?
Destroyed because, yeah, dude, he co-wrote this.
He co-wrote...
He didn't co-write the first one. Ruben Fletcher directed and I think wrote, but I know he didn't write the first one. He got half credit for this movie. And you can tell because they go so deep down into their relationship where I feel like this movie is ultimately its own villain because it has that identity crisis. Like those first 2/3 are very clearly a love story. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of there for it. I'm like, if this is what the movie wants to lean into, and it's making me more laugh at their relationship than at the movie than like the first one did, where I was laughing more at the movie because I can't believe what I'm watching on screen. I would have dealt with it, but this movie really fucking fell apart in that third act. And a lot of it was due to Carnage and due to a lot of things that they set up with like symbiosis in the first movie. They really they abandon it when they need to in this movie, but they bring it back when it kind of becomes irrelevant plot device to help them kill. A lot of it doesn't make sense, and it's very plot convenience heavy to the point of it should be rated R in the carnage scenes, but it's a
Please.
PG-13 love story between Venom and fucking Eddie. You know?
Yeah, and that's my big problem with this, because as I've alluded to, Sony has not learned their lesson one damn bit from 2018. Because like if you're gonna have a movie where Carnage is your main villain, and Venom and Carnage is like one of the most brutal comic book rivalries ever put on the page, one of the most brutal comic book rivalries that Stan Lee has ever concocted, like it should be rated R. Like there should be blood and limbs all over the place. This should have given Logan a run for its money in terms of its brutality, but it just didn't, because the studio has no cojones to make a movie like that.
And I don't get it too, because
mad.
it's been proven time and again already that R-rated comic book movies thrive well enough. And even with the pandemic, I still think they would thrive. That audience is still there. The pandemic didn't just like wash every fucking R-rated comic book lover away. Like,
Right.
no.
Well, if anything, I would expect it to do better if it was rated R. I would expect it to make more money. Just
I don't understand the concept of watering down a rated R movie to get more seats when you're just making the product worse, especially in regards to these characters. So.
Yeah, and like the action itself just came off so tame. Like they cut away from a lot of it. Like Venom eating Carnage's head off at the end should have been so freaking gloriously brutal. Like
it kind of just like caves in. It just like a in black hole in his head. Like, oh, bro, do you just forget to bleed sometimes too? Like, yeah, same. Like,
I should have seen freaking like veins popping out everywhere, Carnage's head coming clean off like Suicide Squad James Gunn level. Like, come on. Like, there's no excuse for it. But Jacob does make a point. He's like, literally work at the theater. There were kids literally jumping up and down out the hallway going into Venom. That's why it was PG-13.
But they also don't know any better.
Again. Well, yeah.
They don't know cinema.
Very true. Speaking of not knowing any better, do we want to talk about this mid-credits scene a little bit?
Wait, hold up. Before we get there, I just have a quick challenge for you guys, because we crapped on it so hard.
What's that?
A positive thing from all of us before we close that the film out. Just one positive.
Oh, I've got.
Do I have
to?
Do I have to?
Do I have to? God.
I just want to know if you have one.
Well, listen, like contrary to popular belief, I really like Tom Hardy as an actor. I enjoy him in Mad Max Fury Road. I enjoy him in The Revenant. I enjoy him in this. Let me remind you that this movie exists, guys. It's a fucking classic. Good. Look at Tom Hardy in there. That's how I was introduced to him, guys. So he's capable of making good shit. So, like, even The Dark Knight Rises, he was good in that. I mean, I lost the championship round in the drafts because of it, but, like, I'm assuming that's because I lost. But in any regard, like, Tom Hardy's a good actor, and he was throwing his all into this material. Like, it's clear that he's passionate about it, but, I mean, again, was not enough to save it. So, I'll let you...
I'll keep it short and simple. I think Tom Hardy feels a lot more comfortable in both the Eddie Brock and Venom role, which definitely lended some service to the chemistry between the two characters, which I did like a little bit more. I did find some type of investment within that relationship that they were building throughout the movie. And yeah, I'm not going to say I cried and wept and said it was the most heartbreaking thing, like The Notebook, when they decided to split off and get a divorce for some reason.
Oh my God.
But I'm just like, yeah, man.
Like
someone you really
Notebook?
Yeah, don't question it. Don't question the Notebook. Notebook, no. But I'm just like, he feels more comfortable in this movie, and it does show when, especially I watched both of them back to back. From the first movie to this one, you could see some sort of development, not with only in the character, but within the actor himself. So I do give some credit towards that, and that's really what made me more invested within the Eddie and Venom storyline. So that's one good comment.
Yeah,
Ryan,
sure.
I'm surprised how heartfelt you took it, considering how much you didn't like the movie.
I know. I'm
Right.
nice. See, I got some good comments.
Well,
Like I was telling Zach earlier, I prefer to stay pessimistic.
right, of course. But Lo, I've got a question for you then. What is your liking of Venom Let There Be Carnage then?
Nothing. Definitely
Okay,
nothing.
so minus like their
Nothing.
fight, which I thought was entertaining, I will say I literally laughed out loud pretty hard when I can't remember the context of the situation, but Michelle Williams' husband or whatever was there, and
Oh,
then Venom
God.
like in the middle of them like all talking, Venom was like, "Nobody likes you."
Well,
I lost my shit, and I thought that was kind of funny. So
one scene, here's one more thing I will add on as a positive. So I actually kind of laughed at the scene where Venom was making Eddie breakfast and he was fucking it up all over the place. Like, there's ketchup on these waffles over here. There's freaking like, M&Ms on these pancakes to your right. It's just like utter chaos. It's a total mess in there. And then the icing on the cake is Tom Hardy just getting squirted with ketchup, and the people who dislike ketchup were like cringing somewhere.
well,
Why do
you know
people?
what? You know
Why
what
do
made that
people
work was
dislike
that
ketchup?
Venom was so like affectionate about it. He was like, "Oh,
Yes.
Eddie, you like eggs, right? You like eggs," and he's like throwing eggs against the wall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was just trying to help out his friend. He was just trying to feed him. So
He's
that's
like,
all.
"You like waffles?" And he's like smashing them together.
Yeah. You like hot dogs, right? You like hot dogs. So-
I mean, how do you guys not think of the very so sexy Michelle Williams seductive scene trying to
oh
get
God.
Venom out of Mrs. Chang's body, bro?
That was
Literally, I was literally crying to my fucking soul. Not
very
because
silly.
I couldn't believe of what I was watching, but watching Michelle Williams try to seduct a 65-year-old Asian woman because Venom is being a pussy. I'm sorry, but just being a pussy.
I
He
forgot
is.
about that.
He's fucking scared of carnage. Like
he's
Whoa,
scared
that's a
of
good one.
carnage, and she's just sitting there and be like, "Yeah, come out, big boy, bro." I'm sitting there like, bro, there's no way this is not Pornhub right now. Like, there's no way. Dude, this is like a straight to Pornhub movie at this point.
Jesus
This
Christ. Yeah, dude. But
this movie.
honestly, let's just talk about the one noteworthy thing about Let There Be Carnage. This mid-credits scene. Ryan, would you like to describe for the viewers what we saw here for this mid-credits?
Overhyped from the early screening reactions, not because I wasn't shocked, but also because I saw this coming. Dude, they literally pointed to it in every interview before the movie. That's the thing about, I can't blame the people like Andy Serkis and Tom Hardy. I got to blame the interviewers at this point because it's just happening every time. Like, why would you guys ask these questions that obviously everyone's asking, but why would you ask them that you're going to get an answer regardless if they say no or not? Like, you can just tell if they're not a good liar that it's not true. And Andy Serkis just like pretty much joked at the point of, you know what, in due time, like, bro, like, okay, we'll see what happens by the end of this movie. And I think they literally did it in the shittiest way possible.
Yeah, it came off so lazy.
Exactly. It was so lazy. And in context of when this happens, is I couldn't even tell you. What my brain tells me is this is happening coinciding with the end of Far From Home in that post-credit when his identity is revealed, because that's exactly what it looks like in the context of the news thing. But
yes,
when is Tom Holland ever standing there with his mask off in the middle of the city, just with a news like it just. It's the little things that, like, you as a director should pay some mind to.
Of course, you get J.K. Simmons given that same news report that you heard at the end of Far From Home, and like, Eddie or as Venom sees a photo of Tom Holland as Peter Parker, and he's like, yummy, licking the screen, and I'm like,
And
Jesus
that
Christ.
it's also so out of character for this Venom that we know. Like, why would Venom just do this? If this was the Venom from like the 93 cartoon or literally any video game interpretation or literally most of any of the comic books, not this lovey-dovey Eddie Brock and Venom love story going on, I would believe that. But this Venom literally does not do anything within that realm of like weird off-putting. Like, bro, why are you wanting to eat a 16-year-old boy that you don't even know that just turns out to be Spider-Man, that he doesn't even know who Spider-Man is, I presume. Like, it's just
Probably
so
not.
weird.
It's
Like,
yeah.
no, it's like it's obvious they did this for the shock without any thought of going into
Right.
it.
My
And-
theater when I saw this opening night freaking exploded. I was sitting there and like I never thought I would love and hate something all at the same
Yeah.
time because I thought it was very, very cool to see that reveal. And it honestly gives me hope that with Tom Hardy and his passion for this character, he can finally be in a good film with this character. But
hope.
at the same time, I hate it because it really feels like these Venom filmmakers are writing off of Lord Feige's coattails. And I really don't understand it. You know, like it can exist on its own. And this explains why none of this was rated R to begin with, because this is what they wanted from the very beginning and they're getting their wish. But at what extent? You get 2 shitty solo movies and then he comes in, you know, MCU. Annoying, low, huh?
Definitely.
You know, it's just hurting my head so much describing it.
And
But
you know, to your point, Zach, it felt shoehorned. It felt like for months that Marvel and Sony were sitting at a table like, hey, can we do this? And Marvel's like, no, I don't know, we should do this. And Sony's like, please let us do it. Please let us put Tom Holland in this movie. And then like Shang-Chi does well, and they move the release date forward, and they're like, come on, let's do it, let's do it. It just felt like they filmed it before it released, like the week before. Like they just threw it together. And I gotta ask you guys,
Close.
which would you prefer? Would you prefer Wonder Woman clicking links on her laptop, or would you prefer Venom watching TV and seeing Peter Parker?
Links.
Oh, links. Yeah, easily, for
Links.
sure.
I mean, they're both
at
bad.
least,
I mean, they're both awful, but
at least Wonder Woman wasn't lying on the bed and she has a stroke as her method to get into the multiverse. You know what I mean? Because
and
like,
at least it was new footage.
well, yeah, well, because freaking Tom Hardy's lying on the bed and he's convulsing, and I guess this is like his I guess this is the equivalent of him going through the multiverse to get into Tom Holland's MCU. Like, it just, again, it feels so shoehorned and lazy, unfortunately. But you know, what can you do? I'm not Sony. I'm not I'm not riding Lord Feige's coattails right now, trying to get as much money as I can off of my characters, but you know, it should be at least, I hope this leads to at least a decent Venom arc in, you know, Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies, because I take it No Way Home is not the end for Tom Holland. There's no way.
God, no. God,
like,
no.
Does he show up in No Way Home?
I think if anything, he'll be a post-credit scene. I don't think he's gonna have a role within the film per se. Like, people are speculating that he's going to be the 6th Sinister Six member, but honestly, with everything that we know at this point, I don't know why people would really believe that. And with the amount of characters they've introduced within the Spider-Man movies alone, it would make no sense contextually to just throw Venom in. They've already learned or hopefully they've learned, I really don't know at this point in their lives. Hopefully they've learned that just throwing Venom into a Spider-Man movie with no pre-context for any character, and specifically on the third one too. Like, dude, this can't be happening again. This is the 3rd Spider-Man film that if they just randomly throw Venom into. I hope Marvel is saying no and they just do like a teaser post-credit to where that 2nd Spider-Man film, or the 4th one, I should say, in the new trilogy, is a solo Spider-Man film with Venom. And I'd want them to do Maximum Carnage, but fuck me, right? Because that's another thing I hate about this movie. They kill Cletus and they just eat Carnage. Like, Okay, whatever. You literally just fucking ruined it, dude.
Yeah.
You literally just ruined it.
Yeah, there's no more potential for Maximum Carnage because Cletus Cassidy's out of the picture now. So, like, I agree with you. I think at most for No Way Home, he'll be a post-credit sequence. But, like, there's already so many villains announced for it. You got the pumpkin bomb in the trailer, which means Willem Dafoe is in it. You got actually seeing Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. You got the supposed reveals of Toby and Andrew both returning. So,
Got
like,
Electro too from
and
Amazing
Electro,
Spider-Man 2.
exactly. Yeah. So, like, again, and that's a whole nother story for another time. But I feel like if you're gonna introduce these villains in the trailer, there's no way that their equivalent heroes are not in it. There's just no possible way.
Zack,
But
can we touch on like the recent comment from GCO? Because like that's it's a good question that is really confusing if Venom 3 is going to be made by Marvel.
oh yes, absolutely. So if Venom 3 is going to be made by Marvel, I'm interested. If it's by Sony, I could care less.
So this is how like they've structurally have it. So all the Spider-Man IP that Marvel created, Sony has the rights to. And their deal between Sony and Marvel is pretty much a licensing deal. Marvel is being allowed by Sony to use those characters with those contract obligation deals that we saw almost fall through after Far From Home. So what that means is Sony still owns the rights to those individual characters. Venom, particularly in this case, but Marvel's allowed to bring them into the MCU, but they don't legally own them. So Sony is the ones to produce the film, but they give some of the creative freedom to Feige. So Venom will never be made by Marvel unless Sony sells the Spider-Man IPs.
Yeah.
So Venom 3, that
Mobius.
Madam Web film, Morbius, God help me in January.
Morbius.
that Morbius is the new Next Mutants. That's literally what it is.
I forgot about Morbius, honestly.
Everybody forgot about Morbius.
Just like the New Mutants by the time they came out.
Whoa, I'm surprised you remembered that piece of shit. But in any case, like,
I like Michael Keaton, so what can I say? He got me kind of excited.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Leto's in it. Whatever, you know.
Oh, Michael Keaton too, bitches.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but you know, they gave away Michael Keaton.
But also, a good way to think about it is think of Spider-Man as the key to being in the MCU. If Spider-Man's on the MCU, any character associated with Spider-Man will not be in the MCU. That's the easiest way to put it.
For sure. So Colby is also saying Venom might be in Spider-Man 4, which would make sense.
That's what I'm hoping.
You know, like, again, give Tom Hardy a good movie as Venom, because, I mean, he deserves it. You know, after all this work he's put into the character and all the passion he has.
Don't let him write it.
No. Don't let him write it. Let fucking John Watts. I don't think John Watts writes the script.
Dude,
bro,
he's working on Fantastic Four trilogy after this.
Yep. So
he's done with Spider-Man after this, I feel.
After No Way Home, yeah, it's going to be an all-new director. So it could be Ruben Fleischer for all I know coming back.
God, I hope not.
Really? I mean,
yeah.
Okay, Ruben Fleischer has made some good films in the past. Like Zombieland is one I can think of. I love Zombieland. But it just feels like, you know, with these directors being attached to it, it's almost like Sony's holding them hostage. Someone made a comment earlier, I believe it was Jacob, who was like, Andy Serkis wasn't a director. He was just a puppet, you know? So...
I agree, but like, you know how like Vogue and all these fucking big magazine websites all like to make videos on like new movies, and they take like a scene and they get the director to break it down, and they got Andy Serkis on to talk about that in particular scene of them like divorcing, having the fight, and the way he's talking about it,
yeah,
I'm like, my man, I am so sorry you put so much thought into this. I really am. Like, it breaks my heart to see a man talk so passionately about a disastrous scene like this.
Oh, yeah. No good. Colby's like, let's hope it's not written by the person who wrote 50 Shades of Grey, which makes me laugh.
Honestly, it probably would be better.
Yeah, don't
It was close to 50 Shades with the seduction scene with.
Well, I think Colby said it earlier. I think it was the same person. I think that's what he was saying.
The movie script or the actual fan
Here,
fiction?
let me vet that real quick. Let me vet.
Okay.
Yeah, that she's like that's a bold claim right there, my friend.
That is a very bold claim.
If it's not the writer of 365 from Netflix, then I don't want it.
365. I don't think I've seen that. I mean, I've been watching.
Oh my god, it is.
What? No.
Kelly Marcel wrote.
Show.
She wrote 50 Shades of Grey and Venom, or I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. Could go both ways. Oh, it is a girl. Oh shit.
No wonder it's so shitty.
Wait,
She wrote 50 Shades of Grey and she wrote Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Oh my god.
So Venom, Let There Be Carnage is co-written by Tom Hardy and the person who wrote 50 Shades of fucking Grey.
Yeah,
bro, you just love to see cinema. That's all I gotta say.
What a fucking sentence, man. You know, but hey, speaking of cinema, let's end this freaking stream on a high note.
Yes.
We got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Lo is the giddiest person on the stream right now. Do you want to take this away? What did you think of Shang-Chi?
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I saw it 4.5 times in theaters. One super early screener that I fucked up, and I only saw half of it because I was having problems with phones and stuff like that. But other than that, what a glorious, epic, fantastical masterpiece that we were bestowed upon this year, and it entered my top 10 of my MCU rankings.
Yeah.
It's right up there. The legendary Tony Leung graces us with his presence, and if people don't know who he is, he has an iconic filmography dating back to Hard Boiled with Chow Yun-fat, and this guy is like the George Clooney of China. Okay, guys, people love him in China, and he comes to America and kills it. One of the best villains in the MCU to date, which is high praise for how many 23, 24 projects we're in, whatever it is, and it's just so wonderful. The callbacks to classic Chinese cinema with the kung fu and the stunts that Simu Liu was doing physically, and him actually kind of like giving off a little bit of Jackie Chan vibes, a little bit of like some of his like energy was even equivalent to like Jet Li with some of the power moves he was doing. And as a martial arts fan, it lived up to the hype, and also the supporting cast was wonderful. I loved his sister. Forgive me, I can't remember her name right now, but
I think it was like Zhao Ling.
Yeah,
Benedict Wong, man.
Yep.
Wonderful cast. It's just such a great time. I'm so happy that this film did so well, and I'm so happy to have seen it so many times.
Same here, man. I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Tony Leung's first English feature film of his career. Which
it was his first American role, too, I'm pretty sure.
Staggering to me how good he was. You know, this is a villain that Ego wishes he was. You know, he reminded me a lot of Ego. Similarly, he's the father of our main character, but it's just such a better dynamic here. You clearly bought that they were father and son, and you clearly bought that there was so much built up animosity there. But it was absolutely brilliant. I saw it 3 times in theaters up to this point. It has actually, Colby said it's your number 10. I'll do you one better. It's my number 6 in all of the MCU right now. You know, if Thor Ragnarok did not exist, this is easy top 5 for me. So good. But Ryan, hot takes only.
This movie is not as high as you in my ranking, but it is top 10. It ranks number 8 for me. I think this movie's great. I love the fucking action choreography. I still think about the bus scene till this day. It's one, and not even the bus scene alone, but the Fight Club fight scene with them on the rafters is, bro, just watching what goes into that scene. And literally every single window had to be framed with the shadow and reflection of each bro. It's just like, how the fuck was this made correctly? That's it's just so meticulously crafted that I can kind of overlook some of the, I don't want to say boring, but lackluster plot threads. In particularly with the movie going back and forth between young Shang-Chi and watching the unraveling of his mother's death and his father going
So heartbreaking.
cuckoo caca. But I'd
Yeah.
much rather wish they just dedicated an entire scene or amount of time to just telling us that instead of just sprinkling it out throughout the movie, because I
Yeah.
felt like it just kept interjecting in these scenes that I just wanted to keep continuing. And by the time that she did die, I'm like, I just wanted to get to this much earlier in the film because you knew exactly what was going to happen. They were
Mhm.
just leading it out. And I don't really understand why Wenwu was mad at Shang-Chi. I guess it's just because he was just angry at his wife dying and he needed to take the blame out on somebody. But the
Yeah.
intention of blaming a 6-year-old boy for not stopping 30 plus men that even regular adults would
It's-
have, like, it just seems like such a weird thing to be mad at a kid about, to a point where I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel bad for him, but then I don't, because he's kind of irrational in a sense that it doesn't make sense. It was kind of
Mhm.
confusing in that sense. And I do wish that he was the main ending villain. But I also think that's where one of this movie's biggest strengths is, because I think a lot of people are talking about, oh, these Marvel movies, these superhero movies never do anything new. But then
Yeah.
Shang-Chi does something really new. Like, bro, when do you ever see dragons being
Right?
fighting in the MCU? When do you see our
Yeah.
superhero riding dragons and then fucking kamikazing with 10 rings? And like, when do you see that? And then people go and complain on Twitter like, oh, it's just your typical third act CGI fight.
No,
Like,
it is really
yeah,
not.
like, bro, what were you expecting? Like, you were expecting 2 fucking elder dragons to come out my asshole in the
Exactly.
toilet or something? Like,
It was giving me serious, you know what it was giving me vibes of? It was a movie I grew up watching and loving, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, that dragon fight scene he had like towards the end of the first act, I want to say.
yeah.
Really, really freaking solid action there. And like Shang-Chi's final fight scene, and Ryan has been gushing about it to me all day about, oh, that third act fight scene is so awesome. And I agree. I absolutely agree. It is 100% epic. Those dragons coming in is beautiful CGI. And the plot twist of Tony Leung's character sacrificing himself to save his son, it's heartbreaking for sure. And then Shang-Chi has to go and fight this gigantic dragon to save everybody. It's great. It's absolutely great, but not my favorite fight scene. That distinction goes to the bus fight in the first act in San Francisco. Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe.
Colby asks us, better bus scene, nobody or Shang-Chi? Is that even a question? Shang-Chi. I mean, I loved the nobody bus scene. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Bob Odenkirk was a badass, but
he was.
Yeah.
Man was.
Absolutely. Put Bob Odenkirk in the MCU at some point. That'd be interesting.
Dude, I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for Bob Odenkirk. We're so close to Jeffrey Wright. That we need Jeffrey Wright first, then Bob Odenkirk.
There you go. Ooh, Suicide Squad or Shang-Chi?
Suicide Squad.
Wow. Oh,
Yep,
man.
I'll say
that's a tough one, man. I mean, in terms of pure fun, I would say Suicide Squad, but I think Shang-Chi is the better story, like from beginning to end, and mainly because I wasn't the biggest fan of Harley Quinn's arc in Suicide Squad, and I think that's what holds it back for me, like in this comparison. But it's not to say I don't love Suicide Squad, but or the Suicide Squad in that regard. But
you guys are gonna hate me. Yeah, you guys are gonna hate me. So, I'm pulling up my top 10 of the year list right now. So I've got Black Widow at number 8.
Whoa.
Shang-Chi at number 6. And the Suicide Squad at number 2.
Wow. There you go. What's your number 1 out of curiosity then?
So this movie literally just came out to the public. It debuted at Sundance, but it's Mass. Have you seen it at all?
Have not seen Mass.
Dude, you gotta see it. It's an experience. But dude, Suicide Squad, I love James Gunn so much. And regardless of how I feel about Guardians 2, because it's one of the bottom tier MCU movies for me, while Guardians 1 is number 2 for me, right behind Infinity War, is it takes these characters that you would never think of using in a movie, or at least a mainstream movie, as the lead characters. And I think John Cena, I I think too many people give him shit. I love Peacemaker, and I can't wait for the
He's
show.
such a douchebag,
Dude,
man.
it's so
like,
funny though. He plays such
it's
the douchebag so well, and when him
which is
and
so strange. Which is so
dude,
strange. If I could cut you off for a second, because
yeah,
I'm a
go.
pro wrestling. If I'm a pro wrestling fan, as most of you guys
I
know
know,
already.
I know.
So, like, John Cena's played the Captain America type good guy for most of his career up to this
I
point in
know.
Suicide Squad. So, seeing him actually play the polar opposite of what Captain America would be in Peacemaker was jarring to see, but he pulled it off so well. He must have been waiting such a long time to do something like that, a villainous role. But in any regard, Lo, how would, like, I'm sure you would say Shang-Chi is better than Suicide Squad, but
Yeah, but I don't want to take anything away from Suicide Squad because much like
No.
Luke Planto, it was so much fun. I laughed out loud numerous times in this film. Shouts out to Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. He stole my whole ass heart, man. He was just
So
great.
funny.
I
So King
know.
Shark have no friends, and but so my top, I rated my my
Bird.
2021 list. Shang-Chi's number 3 for me, and Suicide Squad top 5. So they're both top 5.
Okay, that Lo, I had to tell you to watch what you're about to say, but you recovered well enough. Well enough.
I still haven't put my my top 10 list of the year together. I know I'm slacking, but you know, I don't know. I feel like if I have a better look at the bigger picture, that's just better for me to, you know, put my actual list together. So I might just wait until December to put my list up on
Dude,
YouTube, all that,
honestly, October, November, and December are just gonna be fucking crazy with their releases. So
Yeah.
like I look at so not to get too far off topic, but like my top 10 of the year, number 10 is Army of the Dead. Yeah. Number 9 is Godzilla versus Kong. 8 is Black Widow. Judas and the Black Messiah is 7. Shang-Chi is 6. Coda is 5. The Green Knight is 4.
Whoa, that's high for the Green Knight.
I don't know if you guys have heard of this next movie, but I highly recommend it. It's called Werewolves Within.
No.
Yeah, it's a very good movie. It's a whodunit with the werewolves.
Oh,
yeah, and it's a comedy.
Sick.
It's so good. It's super cheap. It's like a $4 rental on iTunes or whatever. But number 2 is the Suicide Squad, and then Mass is number 1. So
I need to see Mass then,
dude. Honestly, the only thing that I think will beat it this year is Spider-Man No Way Home and Titan or Last Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho, yeah, you know, that's got a good shot to top Ryan's list for sure. But
Dude.
You know, Jacob made a good point. Yeah, you know, this can't slip my mind. In the Heights was my favorite film of the year, like easily. You know, Suicide Squad and Shang-Chi are both in my top 5 somewhere, but I know it's not on Ryan's list at all. You know, there's not a lot of musical fans out there on YouTube, but it's you know, it's as a musical theater guy, I'm like, I gotta show it some love. In the Heights was incredible, such a great experience going to see that. But you know, it's Shang-Chi. I would say it's definitely, you know, top tier Marvel. Absolutely. You know, is it better than Low-Key? I don't know. I still need to go and rewatch Low-Key again to really know for sure. But I think one thing that really holds like Marvel movies in high regard for me and like ranking them is their rewatchability factor. Yeah. I'm not really going to sit down and binge Low-Key, like, you know, over and over and over again. You know, Shang-Chi, I could watch over and over. I've seen it 3 times already. I want to see it a 4th. It was that good.
Except Black Widow.
Well, yeah, Black Widow's a different story.
Yeah, Black Widow is like, no pun intended, but the black sheep of the MCU films, I feel like. Not only was it like put in such an awkward time of not only the character, but the phases kind of shifting of where they're going with the Infinity Saga ending. And then right after Black Widow, we get Shang-Chi, the Eternal, Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah. And then it's fucking Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. These are literally like
Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah, dude, these literally
Black Panther 2.
So many just MCU defining moments that Black Widow just feels so, I know a lot of people have said this already, but phase 1, early phase 2, that I just don't think that worked. I still think overall it was a good movie. Just placement of where it was overall just didn't help it. But dude, Shang-Chi elevated my expectations. I was literally, Lo can tell you, I was looking forward to this movie for a while. And once they announced it, I'm like, we're getting a Karate MCU film. I am there for that. And thankfully, they put they put all their heart and soul into the action and fighting. And that's exactly what this movie was about. And they did it right. They did it absolutely right. That's
and
all
these
I can say.
these stunts, so amazing. That bus scene, here's a hot take. That is my favorite MCU action sequence since the airport sequence in Civil War. Easily.
Wow.
I mean, all these action sequences in Infinity War and Endgame are all fantastic, but if I'm thinking of one individual fight scene like that really propels a movie to the next level, I think of Shang-Chi's bus scene now. I don't necessarily think of the airport scene anymore. Even though I really like Civil War, it's not as rewatchable as Shang-Chi is. I mean, I have Civil War pretty low on my top 10 now at this point, but it's definitely very good. But Lo, can we talk about this cinematography? Colby is begging us to talk about the cinematography. I thought it was great. What did you think?
Yeah, no, it was gorgeous. And to be fair, I haven't lost my breath in this manner in such a long time. This harkens back to the first time I saw Jurassic Park, or the first time I saw Fellowship of the Ring. When we get through the portal, through the waterfall, and then we just see that mystical land and the foxtail and the weird looking horse that Ben Kingsley was like, why is he looking at me?
We got to talk about
it. It just took my breath away. We see a phoenix fly into the sky, and we see the beautiful landscape, and it seriously took my breath away. It was such a enchanting scene, and I think that type of fantasy, we haven't seen this since Asgard, and I think this is something that the MCU needed. It was definitely needed.
Absolutely. And I'm with my buddy Luke on this. Shang-Chi is for sure a day one buy for me on 4K. I want to go and buy that Best Buy Steelbook. Yes. Ryan is going to hate me for this, but I already have the Black Widow 4K Steelbook. But,
real quick, Zack.
It's
also, shout out to
that
opening wide shot when we see Wenwu in the middle of the battlefield. And he's about to approach the army. That wide shot. Just my pulse started racing. I was just so exciting.
I mean, it's probably the closest thing we're getting to a good live action Last Airbender movie or a good live action Dragon Ball Evolution type film. It's shown filmmakers that it's possible. You can do a good Last Airbender film, Shyamalan. You're probably not going to do it this time, but it's definitely, Shang-Chi, love it, but we got to talk about a couple more people. You mentioned Ben Kingsley. That was a huge, huge reveal. And opening night when I went and saw it, people were losing their freaking minds. And he was so fucking funny in this movie. He absolutely, in my eyes, I don't know if I could speak for Ryan or Lo on this, but I think he redeemed himself from Iron Man 3. Do you guys think he did so?
Lo,
no, because I liked him in Iron Man 3.
I agree with Loretto. I found Trevor much better or fitting for Ben Kingsley and his comfortability of the role rather than him playing. I don't even know if I should say the Mandarin, because they kind of clarified that the Mandarin just kind of bullshit at this point. But we'll just say Mandarin for the sake of it. But when you see him play the Mandarin, it's a very one-note villain. He's a terrorist. Oh my God. But you feel that he has much more fun playing Trevor Slattery. I watched Iron Man 3 before watching this because I felt like he was going to play into it, because I also know about the one shot that they made for the character that I've never seen. All Hail the King was on Disney Plus, so I popped it in for 6 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like this is going to come back at some point. Came back 2 days later in this movie, and I was really shocked at how much of this movie he was in too.
Yeah, no, and he had a huge part. He was one of the big comedic reliefs with that weird creature from the village, Morris. So adorable. So adorable. I love that little thing. And Simu Liu's line about where's his face? And then how he gets all like, uncomfortable about it. It's a great gimmick. And the fact that Morris was checking on Ben Kingsley during that final battle scene.
He's dead.
And he's just playing dead. He's playing dead because he's an actor. And his whole monologue about how he wanted to become an actor is just so.
Dude,
I laughed out loud, Zach. Like his whole, I couldn't believe those monkeys were riding horses. I was like, oh my god, I lost it, dude.
Believe they monkeys act like humans.
As an actor myself, like that monologue that is comedic gold for me. That hit me so different.
The delivery was so earnest. Too. Like he was like, if they could teach those monkeys to ride horses, what could I bring to the world? I was just like, he meant that with all of his heart.
It's like he really doesn't seem to understand the fact.
Oh god, those monkeys, man.
And you know what the funny thing is? They set him up to be back in the future. I wholeheartedly believe he'll be in the sequel for Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah, he has to be. He has to be at some point. Like, and we'll get to the ramifications of a Shang-Chi sequel in a couple minutes. But Jacob Hubbard said that Ben Kingsley was the one he hated in the movie. He found him annoying. But, I mean, I thought it was funny. I mean, Colby did brings up a good point here. So he likes that they didn't make Shang-Chi and Katie have a romantic relationship and just stay as friends. Same. Gave me serious Finding Nemo vibes. They're just on this adventure together and they're not forcing a romance between the two. I'm sure they're going to totally put that, to rest in the sequels. They might put them together in the sequels at some point. But for right now, for what it is, I think it's really, really solid. Simu Liu is a freaking superstar. That guy deserves so much. And he's so humble. Like if you saw his Hall H interview where he was announced as Shang-Chi, like he was super so blown away by it. Yes. He's like one of the most humble actors working in Hollywood right now. He's living his dream and he was excellent in the film. Awkwafina, please do not overlook Awkwafina, anybody, because she was so funny. And this is like, especially going back and seeing it a third time, I feel like Shang-Chi is certainly the most Disney out of all the Marvel films because you're getting all these magical elements. You're getting the dragons and all these weird creatures coming in. And with Awkwafina in there, especially after Raya and the Last Dragon, that was too much of a coincidence, I feel like. But so funny, and I never thought I'd be laughing at Hotel California, but
Hotel California. But if you love the way.
And I think a lot of people overlooking her dramatic sequences. One of my favorite scenes is when they're on the water and Shang-Chi admits that he murdered that guy, and their dynamic together, they play that scene really well.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And the karaoke sequences they have, they're singing A Whole New World together, being the responsible adults that they are. It was so relatable. So relatable. Colby thought Awkwafina was going to be annoying, but I agree. I really, really liked her. I doubted her going in, but she proved everybody wrong. But do you want to talk real quick about these post-credits scenes in Shang-Chi before we wrap up, gentlemen?
All I got to say to that is top tier makeup design in the makeup department with Brie Larson's wig people. Gotta say, some Oscar worthy shit if I've ever seen it.
Absolutely. But guys, you get two post-credit scenes where Shang-Chi and Katie are getting the 10 rings examined by Wong, who did appear in one of those cage fights with Abomination. A surprise that was revealed too soon, I feel like. That's one nitpick I have. I would have loved to have been surprised a little bit more with Abomination there. But, like Mark Ruffalo and Captain Marvel are there, and Captain Marvel, has to answer a call, presumably to play into her sequel in November. But then Wong goes in and sings karaoke with those two losers. I loved it. I loved it. It was so funny. Like, I need Shang-Chi in a Doctor Strange movie at some point just to play off of this Wong dynamic again. I would love to see him interact with Benedict Cumberbatch as well. I think that would be ideal. But, I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is busy with Doctor Strange. Like, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness. He's interacting with Scarlet Witch. So, only time will tell. Only time will tell for sure. But the interesting one to me was the 10 rings reveal at the end where the sister was sitting there with all these new warriors. and it says the 10 rings will return. What do you guys think are the ramifications of this? Because I thought this was a very interesting reveal to have, these guys are returning. Because we knew that Shang-Chi was coming back, but the 10 rings, I feel like they ran their course. But here we are.
I just hope they don't make the sister bad. Like, it just seems so odd to make her bad, especially when they take every kind of motivation to go against Shang-Chi was pretty much resolved within this movie. So I can't see them finding a good plausible way of making her go against Shang-Chi, because it seems very playish that she's going to take over. She's taking over the 10 rings and making it a more diversified group. But I don't feel like she's going to make it something that her father didn't. I feel like she's just taking over for her father and adding women to the 10 rings, but they're still going to be a bad organization.
Yeah, no, I definitely see what you're saying. And honestly, going back and rewatching it that third time, that was my first instinct to really thinking about it. I was like, so if Abomination was in this, I feel like Shang-Chi is for sure going to connect up to She-Hulk on Disney Plus. But with 10 rings there, like, that was my first inclination, was these guys have to be the villains of the next Shang-Chi film. But I don't know. I mean, you could have, like, I don't know, like Kingpin come in and be the villain for it, but I doubt it. But I mean, I don't know who else you got. Lo, thoughts on this?
I can't remember if it was AJ or someone else. This is not my idea, but I like the concept of possibly having Shang-Chi meet Iron Fist. Reintroducing that character into the MCU. I think that'd be exciting. I also feel like I liked the sister reveal, and I like how it mimicked. She leaned to the other side. Wenwu leaned. I think Wenwu leaned to the right, and she to the left. She leaned to the right, but it was the same tracking shot. That was really cool. But also, I feel like if they sidelined her for a movie, or like maybe the 10 Rings was just like a minor subplot, I think that would be fine. But I do hope that the main storyline of the next film is different, other than brother sister rivalry, whatever it's gonna be. At least that's my hope. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and honestly, only time will tell. We're gonna get spoiled with these Marvel projects. You got Eternals next month. You know, we're just gonna swallow them up whole like Ryan's
Hawkeye
right
next month too.
Hawkeye's gonna be so good.
I'm hyping that show.
Amanda, if you're watching the replay, I don't care what you say. Hawkeye's gonna be fucking awesome. I can't wait for it. You know, it's going to be a freaking Christmas freaking themed style movie. You know, not like Die Hard, which is not a Christmas movie, but, you know, another topic for another time. But one last thing, Jacob is saying, I liked how even the end credits scenes felt very soft. This movie's a Shang-Chi movie full through. It is not set up for huge things. Those scenes are just reminders people join one day. Yeah, new Avengers. That's what we're setting up for, my friends.
I gotta like semi disagree with that, I feel. Because I don't see, other than Brie Larson's terrible wig, I don't see enough people talking about Bruce Banner in the post-credit scene.
Yes.
Because everyone just seems to forget that he was the Hulk at the end of Endgame, and he still has the cast, but now he's human. Abomination's also in the She-Hulk show. Hulk, Bruce Banner's in the show, obviously. So I feel like they're setting things up with Shang-Chi in that sense, with Wong. I don't really think that Brie Larson and Captain Marvel is really going to be too much. I think it's going to be, if anything, a post-credit scene in the Marvels. I was going to say the Captain Marvels for fucking but
well, you got Captain Marvel, you got Ms. Marvel, and you got whatever they're calling Monica Rambeau. God, what's her ego's
Photon.
Photon.
I was thinking of Phantasm for some reason. I'm like, why am I thinking Phantasm? It's faux something.
Right? You know, Tomas, how you doing, my friend? Why was Wong chilling with Abomination though?
Because he grew a few gills, bro. He's just trying to find some friends.
Yeah. I mean, Wong needs more friends outside of the Sanctum Sanctorum. So,
also, can we give some love to Benedict Wong, because he makes the most out of his screen time?
Yes.
Like, whether it was Infinity War or him just like singing karaoke, or like
give him his own show.
Doctor Strange, like Wong makes his scenes count. It's just, he's excellent. Like,
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. At this point, give Wong his own show. I mean, I would not be opposed to that. Let Doctor Strange go off on his own adventures into the multiverse and let Wong, hold down the fort for a little bit and just do some comedy there, have some fun. But like, I'm not sure. That'd be interesting to look at though. Makes you wonder where Wong is going in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Bro,
Good
he's
Lord.
going to fuck off. That's where he's going because he's done with people's bullshit. He's just done with people's. Bro, he literally packed his bags. You saw a beach. He said, "Bye, bitch." He said, "I'm done saving everyone's asses."
Jesus, man.
I think Wong should have a talk show interviewing like all the Avengers and big players within the MCU, and
oh
just
my God.
the show is called Wong Talk. That right? It's just called Wong Talk, and it's just him questioning why they've all made these wrong decisions in their lives. Like the first episode should just be him talking to Chris Hemsworth's Thor, and Thor would be
Oh
in
my
like those
God.
kind of, you remember those short videos, like 8 to 10 minutes of him rooming with some dude in Australia? And that's the type of Thor I want to be on the show. And he's like, so why would you let Jane be infected by the Infinity Stone? And he just sits there awkwardly like, I really don't know. I was drinking. Something like that, I think would be fucking hilarious.
I mean, that would just be an AA meeting at that point. Wong and drunk Thor, Big Lebowski Thor.
No. Wong and Party Thor from episode 7.
No. We're fucking off with Party Thor now. I'm done with him. So he's so lame. But on that note,
how about you?
No more. Okay, no, quick story time before we wrap up. It was between this shirt, T'Challa Star-Lord, and Party Thor at Hot Topic. I went with this one for obvious reasons, because this is the best episode. For those of you who missed earlier on in the stream, yes, T'Challa Star-Lord is my favorite. So there you go. But Ryan, where can we find you, my friend?
Yeah, you guys can always find me at the Suit Up Geeks Podcast. Me and Lo always do shows every week. And then we got our horror movie draft this Sunday. We had to change it because we do it Saturdays, but DC Fandom is the Saturday, and we're just like, oh shit. But you guys can also follow me at the Backroom Podcast, and my Twitter's right here. Just talk about movies. And I ranked the Nightmare films with Loretto and Gabe last week. So if you guys want to go check that out with some spicy ranking taste, I guess you can say. Yeah, but yeah, I just post hot takes too. So fuck it. That's my life motto. Fuck it.
Nothing but hot takes only, for sure. Flaming hot takes. But Lo, where can we find you, my friend?
You can follow me on Twitter at Marcellus Durden. I've been doing a bunch of like random double features. I saw the 1931 Dracula for the first time. I saw Phantom of the Opera 1925. And anything you want to talk random film stuff, I'm always down. I'm down to talk Tremors, Hasu, Dream Warriors, you name it, man. I'm all about it. Anything weird, anything fun. Cinema is cinema. Art is art. Also, me and Ryan, we're proud members of the Suit Up Geeks. We do have that draft coming up this Monday. It's a spooky Halloween horror draft. And we do a lot of reviews as well. We've been slacking on What If and stuff like that, but just every week we got something new for you guys. So check us out at the Suit Up Geeks.
Can I ask you real quick? Who tweets you asking like how great you thought Tremors from 1990s was? Like, how many times did you get into a deep conversation about it? Like I talk Tremors and all that. Like, bro.
Well, there's a dedicated account called the Tremors Saga, and they retweet and like. Anytime you mention Tremors, it doesn't matter who you are, they will find you. And it's kind of like,
I'm gonna have to try that out tonight just to be noticed.
Dude, just tweet Tremors. They will find you.
I'm gonna be boy. Tremors is the best film since Scream, even though it came out before.
Guaranteed retweet within the hour.
Bro, hashtag send it to the internet. As,
guaranteed retweet within the hour. Yeah, we'll look out for that. But my friends, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can. Go check out the Suit Up Geeks podcast. Go and subscribe to them. They deserve all the love in the world. As far as what I'm doing on my channel, expect more live streams for sure. Expect Ryan and Lo back on the channel very soon. I'm doing my Halloween special. I'm chugging right along. I'm gonna be reviewing Bone Tomahawk. Like I said, I was talking to these fellas at least. I was editing that before we went on the air here, but that should be hitting the channel at the earliest tomorrow morning. And later on this week, I'm going to be reviewing Wreck, which was recommended, no pun intended, by another fellow YouTuber. And I've got a lot of really fun Halloween videos coming up as well, in addition to all the new movie releases. Last night in Soho, I will definitely be talking about Halloween Kills. Unfortunately, I have to talk about, first day, even though I'm not overly excited for Halloween Kills. I don't know about you guys,
Boo.
but boo! Why is it on Peacock? Just let it go to theaters.
Don't even start me. If they were just gonna release it on Peacock, they should have just dropped it last year when it was supposed to.
Yeah, it was such a clusterfuck. But in any case, folks, see you guys around for the next one. It's been fun, guys.
Peace.